everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last. My name is Josh, and with me this week I've got Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy's back.
What's up, Pasta Pals? And new friends joining us this week. New listeners to the pod.
Oh, hey, guys.
Pineapple Pizza Pals.
He listened.
Didn't think I'd hear the pod.
I was even going to tease it out and just ask you about your favorite kinds of pizza. I had a whole plan.
All kinds. I don't mind pineapple on a pizza for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. For those of you that don't know what's going on, listen to last week's episode, number 1. How dare you not listen to all of our podcasts? And number 2, Jimmy wasn't here, so me and Joe, without telling Jimmy, said that if Jimmy said something about pineapple on pizza, we'd give him a point. Which means that for last week, Jimmy's the only one that scored a point. And he wasn't here.
You got a point.
That's the best way, in my opinion, to score points. Well, I literally just listened to it a couple hours ago.
You didn't have that much time, considering it comes out on Wednesday and we record on Thursday night. So you had a day and a half.
Right.
So
We did it.
congratulations. Way to go.
Yeah.
Thanks. It was good. It was a good pod. I was into it. I was like, man, rancher show, Nickelodeon. So in college, I actually spent a summer working on a friend's family ranch. So have personal investment now in this show. But after listening to it, the episode, I probably won't go watch that.
Do you have any more? Did you find any more insight on the mystery of where Danny is?
I feel like just the same stuff that you guys talked about. He's probably at some bar in Tucson.
Yeah, I was sent a link from our faithful listener, Luke,
Nice.
that may or may not be Joe Torres's obituary online.
Oh, no.
Aww.
Trying to confirm here, I'll show you
There's
this
probably
text.
more
do you think that's
than
him?
one Joe Torres ever.
I'm inconclusive for me. Maybe not.
I mean, yeah, it's it could be, but yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how people age, right?
Yeah, the timeline lines up. I don't know if you can reach this. The timeline lines up that this guy might be the right age, and the obituary itself is a little bit hazy in terms of this guy was a teacher and he died and whatever, but they don't really talk about what he was doing before that, so that's a little mysterious, a little strange.
Man lived a mysterious life.
A little wild and a little strange.
Ooh.
When
Yeah,
you make your home out on the range.
Is it just another Tucson guy? I don't think that's him.
You don't think that's him? Could be. I don't know.
Well,
Who's
thank
to
you.
say?
Thank you, Luke, for trying to help us in the mystery of what happened to Danny from Hey Dude.
We'll never know.
We'll never know, but
It's for the best for us to never know.
is it?
I don't know. Leave Danny alone.
We'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, if he's
If it's the
alive,
best
leave.
for us.
If he's alive, really leave him alone. And if he's dead, I guess stop trying to bring it up
Yeah, like we're doing.
like we're doing right now.
And just searching through other people's obituaries.
And now also,
Aw, just defiling the memory of every Joe Torres that ever lived.
oh man, you're really bringing
Welcome
me down.
to First and Last. Joe, how does this podcast work?
Yeah. Answer Jimmy's question.
It's a TV pod, not an obituary pod. It's a good time.
God,
That's
is there
our
an
other pod.
Is there an obituary
Last
pod?
and last.
Final and last. We take a TV show and watch only the first episode and only the last episode. Typically a show we haven't seen all of, or at least not the beginning and end. So it's fun to just watch the first episode, react to it, and then try to make predictions for what we think is going to happen in the finale, and see how far off we were, and just see how a show evolves over 10 seasons or how long it goes.
Yeah.
Some shows go off the rails.
And some shows just end weirdly or without any consequence whatsoever. Just sometimes they just have a sometimes you just have a capture the flag tournament. All of a sudden, everything's great and the show's over.
That's showbiz.
So that one was just canceled? Is that you decided? Okay.
Essentially, they were just Nickelodeon was moving their operations to Orlando, and it's just like, all right, these shows we were filming, we're done with now. Unless you guys want to move to Florida. And they're like, Florida?
Oh, yeah.
No thanks.
Gotcha.
No, I don't want to do bath salts.
I don't want money. I mean, yeah. It's interesting. I feel like, because you guys also talked about on last week's that, like, it started really low budge. And I feel like that's a lot of shows we watched also, is that, like, by the end maybe has a lot better production value. But, like I started watching The Simpsons from episode 1.
Oh God,
and
season 1 of The Simpsons is
how
rough.
It is painful. Like, the animation's so rough, and the voices are even not fleshed out yet. And it's just like, but I'm making myself do it.
But okay,
because that'll never end, so we'll never get to do it on this pod.
That's true. That is true. Well, Jimmy, it's week 3 of summer camp.
Yeah, it is.
And it's your show.
And it's hot as balls.
That's right.
It is. And I picked, so we started with, what was the first one? Spider-Man. Animated series. Spider Blood was it?
Radioactive spider blood.
And then went to Nickelodeon. So Fox to Nickelodeon. I was also thinking, like, okay, what shows did I watch? Also, what shows have we done for summer camp? And I feel like, so I picked Clarissa Explains It All. Because I feel like this is a show that I saw a lot of in the 90s that my sister watched a lot, and I, like, pretended to not like. But really, I was like, this is actually pretty good.
I feel like I liked this show.
If you have a sister and she likes something and she's around your age, you just naturally, like, don't like it. Or, well, you say you don't like it, just because that's what you do. And pretty much because they like whatever. Any younger sibling, they just glob onto whatever you do. And you're like, ugh, gross. Stop it. But, like, classic Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah.
Ferguson, whatever his name is.
She's got a friend that, like, climbs through the window.
Yeah, there's a ladder up to the window. That's awesome.
Another iconic theme song.
Ooh, yeah.
What's a theme song to this? I can't remember.
It's like, na, 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 na.
Oh, that, yeah.
All right,
yeah,
all
okay.
right.
Yes.
And this was a Snick show?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It might precede that a little bit and maybe ended up on the Snick lineup.
Okay. So
when was Snick?
First off, number 1, Clarissa.
Yeah.
I can say her name. She explained everything for 5 seasons, 65 episodes between. It started the day after my 6th birthday in 1991 in March.
Nice.
And went to October 1st, 1994. So about 3 years.
Okay.
A little over 3 years, I suppose.
Okay, 5 seasons in 3 years.
And then for Nickelodeon, she addressed very specifically wanted to tell you that she addresses the audience directly.
Yeah, this is breaking of the fourth wall for sure.
Yeah, from August 1992 onwards. So not right away, but year 2. Which might have been the start of season 3. Let's see. Nope, just kind of like near the end of season 2. Not a like concrete time. Just near the end of season 2, August 1992. It was on Snick then.
Okay. So towards the end of it.
Okay.
Now this was a show that they had actually produced in Florida, like on their like soundstage
on
there.
Lot. Okay. Nice.
Oh, I mean, just FYI, I guess Michael Mitchell Kriegman. Is that I'm saying that his name right? Kriegman.
Who are you talking about?
The creator of the show.
Okay.
He released a book in 2015 called Things I Can't Explain, which serves as a sequel to the series.
Huh?
So does that mean we have to watch the first episode and I'll go read a book now?
Yeah, or just read the last.
Our
chapter
very
of that
first
book.
first and last just full novel we have to read.
I feel like would be like a separate like spin-off in a way that we would just have to do that separately as its own. Read the first and last chapter.
First and last book club.
Yep.
Sign up for a Patreon now.
Tuesday mornings.
Yeah.
Meet on Zoom.
I'm having a hard time remembering this besides this is Sabrina before she was Sabrina.
Right.
I remember like a few key details, like the characters you mentioned. I think she like designs video games too to like try to deal with her problems.
That's amazing.
I'm into it.
She's like, I created this video game
She
to try to
designs-
figure out like which boy I want to go to prom with.
She designs games to be played on Nickelodeon Arcade that they then run through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can see this first episode being almost in the vein of Blossom.
Okay.
Not in like she gets her period like Blossom. But like, it's like kind of funny, sets up like the silly family because it's like Clarissa. Does she have
A lot of overalls.
She's got parents and like a brother.
Yeah, I think there's the one brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then it's like, what young lady issue does she deal with, like to make it serious so she can talk to the camera? But it's probably not the Blossom issue. It's probably something else.
It's probably lower stakes, I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
Something like she's grounded and wants to go to a party or something. I guess I'm not sure how old she is. She like 15,
she's like a young
14?
teen.
Yeah.
Like not, I feel like she's not like preteen, but maybe at the beginning. But so yeah, probably some boy drama. I would guess.
Oh, actually, really cool. Clarissa was credited with becoming the first Nickelodeon series with a female lead. So this is the leading the way, Melissa Joan Hart.
That makes sense. Well,
Yeah.
Nickelodeon wasn't like a thing that much longer before this, was it?
Yeah, when did Nickelodeon
When did
start?
Nickelodeon start? Like in the 80s?
Yeah, I think only a few years before, and this is one of the first like big like shows that they had produced specifically for Nickelodeon. And they specifically like picked,
1979.
yeah.
Really?
Wait,
Okay.
what?
April 1st, 1979. Never start a business on April Fool's Day.
I feel like they're doing okay.
It was something else called Cubes
Mm-hmm.
or something like that
Ah.
in 1977, and then it became Nickelodeon in April 1st, 1979.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually, it's like 12 years. It was,
Okay. No chicks. 12 years.
but like Nickelodeon as we know it, I mean, really, I think became popular like as
In
we
and
were
around
all
this
becoming
time, yeah.
like
With their own shows
young,
and
like when
everything,
we were
yeah.
kids learning that we like could think and become people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, now I want to watch Stickly.
Yeah, I want someone to explain it all to me.
I feel like this is gonna be like Doogie Howser with a female lead, just in the way that like there's one like central character that we're hovering around and some fourth wall talk. I guess he didn't really fourth wall talk, but we had the like computer thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you meant that she was going to like save someone's life from
She's
a car
gonna
crash
be a
in the first
surgeon
scene,
or something.
and then some older doctor man's gonna try to like hit on her or something, and it's gonna be really
I
weird,
remember that from Doogie. That was weird.
right?
Very uncomfortable.
They like tricked him into like sexual
Didn't
harassment.
they like, pull down his pants or something? Or like,
No, I think his shirt came off. Like his little Neil Patrick Harris, like
that
12-year-old
was
boy
so
shirt
weird.
came off.
That was awful.
Yeah, that wasn't okay. So let's get away from that. Let's step away. Let's step away from that. We're on a list now. Who is else in this show besides? Is anybody else of note besides Melissa Joan Hart in this show?
I don't think so.
Could not say. I honestly, do you guys remember like? Okay, so I'm thinking like Boy Meets World or anything like. I don't remember there being like a school set. I just remember the entirety of this show taking place basically from her bedroom.
That's a good point. I don't
I'm sure
remember
there had to have been.
I don't remember any other sets at all. I only remember her house,
Yeah.
which seems weird. You would think that there's like, a school or
Yeah.
the rec center or something.
The like one classroom that they use for every teen show.
Maybe she visits the Dude Ranch on Hey Dude.
All the way out in Arizona.
Yeah, they flew to Arizona for a weekend and filmed one episode. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I like a crossover.
I just feel like at the moment I'm like, I remember Clarissa. I remember the theme song that you guys just said. Besides that, I'm like drawing a full blank on this show.
Do you remember Ferguson? Her little redheaded brother that
He's
she
from
hates.
Oh, that's him? Okay, that's this show.
Yeah.
Okay. Ferguson.
Yeah.
He's somebody though, isn't he?
Ferg. I don't think so.
Or is he just like Ferguson and that's all I can remember?
I think so. I think he went on to do like theater stuff. I don't think he did TV after this at all.
Oh man, to think that Melissa Joan Hart went from Clarissa Explains It All
Straight into Sabrina.
Straight into Sabrina.
And straight into Hallmark holiday classics.
Well, and that's
feel
what I was
like.
going to say. And then straight into God's Not Dead starring Kevin Sorbo
Ooh.
in like,
yeah.
in like 2018 or
He's
something like that.
surely alive.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
and that's the theme song to that movie.
I think there's a sequel too.
Oh yeah, God's Not Dead 2.
Yeah, which she's also in.
God also did not die twice.
Still isn't dead.
Still here.
What were we? What?
Witch stuff.
Yeah. So did we? I was thinking we watched Sabrina, but I think you guys watched the Netflix Sabrina for Spooky Month one time.
No, I don't think.
Or did you watch the Melissa Joan Hart Sabrina?
If we watched any Sabrina, we watched the Melissa Joan Hart one because the Netflix Sabrina isn't over.
It isn't over. Okay.
I mean, it might be over. I don't think it's over.
Never seen it.
Me and Lindsay love it. We watch it all the time.
Did not watch that.
And by watch it all the time, I mean we watch it whenever it comes out. And I'm pretty confident it's not over.
All right. So, Clarissa explains. What do you think Clarissa explains in this?
It's just her life, man. She's talking about her life.
It all. She explains.
Fucking everything,
it.
Jimmy.
Every episode, she attempts to explain all of
Yeah.
the cosmos.
She's like, listen, we're little marbles on this universe.
God's not dead.
I mean, if there's
I'm
one
14.
If there's one thing I think what we're going to find out is right away, I think for me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to see so many Dawson's Creek references in this show. And by that, I mean like the ladder and like just like teens having problems and like dealing with it and stuff like stuff like that like a lot of other shows took from. I think we're going to see a lot of other shows in Clarissa Explains It All. So keep an eye on that.
But like sitcom-y and not drama-y.
I mean, there's going to be some stupid drama in this for sure. Like,
Hope so.
Yeah. Should we just watch the first episode and then go from there?
Sure.
It's kind of a fun name. First
Not
episode.
pilot.
Yeah, not pilot.
Clarissa explains pilots.
Clarissa explains what a pilot is. No, it's called Clarissa's Revenge.
Oh.
Love it already.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Pretty great. It originally aired on March 23rd of 1991. A fresh 6-year-old Josh was ready to get explained to. There's no way I knew this existed right when it came out. Because my parents wouldn't buy cable. So that was fun. All right. We're going to watch that first episode and we'll be back after that. And we're back. We're done with the first episode of Clarissa Explains It All. It's called Clarissa's Revenge. On Paramount Plus, it was just called Revenge. They got lazy, but also it's kind of a shitty streaming service, so it doesn't.
IMDb calls it Revenge.
Okay.
But Wikipedia calls it Clarissa's Revenge. So who's to say?
We're never gonna get closure. Do you have a write-up though, Jimmy?
Yeah, I'm just gonna read this IMDb one, written by Jem, Jem, all lowercase. Okay. Ferguson embarrasses Clarissa at school, and so she is out to exact revenge using a straitjacket and balloons. Sam's father wants him to get into the football team, and he is determined to not be in it with Clarissa's help. And basically, that's it. I guess I can finish the wiki version. It says Clarissa's plan fails when Sam is lifted into the sky by holding onto the balloons and crashes into a nearby tree. They burst and he falls to the ground, injuring his arm, meaning that he cannot play football. The end.
So it worked out for everyone.
Everybody wins.
Well, except Ferguson isn't dead, so.
Yeah, but she recorded him having a pimple.
For the first time.
So got him.
Yeah.
She's going to use that to embarrass him.
I mean,
he was very upset by the pimple.
Immediately just going, Ferguson went and grabbed his like sister's bra. Like right away, you're like, as far as a sibling relationship goes, when most little brothers or little sisters be like, ew, it's your underwear.
Yeah.
Especially of the opposite sex.
I mean, and yeah, taking that to like show and tell seems embarrassing for Ferguson.
Right. Yeah. Because he's so young.
Yeah. Like, it just seems like his classmates would just be horrified and not necessarily like laughing.
Right. So, joke's on you, Ferguson. You're never going to get married.
You are
You're
a messed
gonna
up
die young.
kid from the beginning.
But yeah, the show starts out with like Clarissa like talking to the audience and pretty much explaining that she's just like a normal kid. This is her family, blah, blah, blah. And then she like,
you know, a normal kid breaking the fourth wall, talking to some people.
talking to the audience. But then she talks about her brother and how he's annoying and stuff. And then she said, but like, this is when it all changes because now he's going to die.
Yeah.
And then it goes into
Episode
the theme song. And I'm just like, what? This is the murder episode?
Yeah, she really did say, and he's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And would you say like 75% of her dialogue was at the audience?
Mm-hmm.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, it was a solid amount.
Even Sam talked to the audience. I didn't expect
I thought that. Yeah, I did not see that. The minute he climbed in the ladder into her room, a la Joey into Dawson's room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Dawson's Creek stole that. And then she was like blah 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 blah, and then he turns to like the camera and was like, I also like popcorn or something. Like I don't know, I don't know what he said, but I was like, oh, you can talk to the camera too?
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna
it
have.
Seemed like she was talking about him as if that he can't hear.
Yeah, that's what
all of a sudden he just like joined in the conversation with the audience.
I thought they were gonna have a like Wayne's World part where like, you remember in Wayne's World where Al Bundy starts talking to the camera when they go into his diner, and then they're like, hey, no, only we can talk to the camera and get off. But Al Bundy's like talking about how he's like, oh, apparently when you kill a man in the heat of battle, you're a hero, but when you kill a man in the heat of passion, it's called murder. And he keeps like going.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that that surprised me that anyone else
Bundy.
besides her could talk to the camera. Because now it's like, what are the rules? Just those two?
Can all of them see us?
Because then she was talking,
What are the rules?
like sitting at the kitchen table, like the breakfast table in the morning, and she was talking to the camera, and then her parents were just there, and they acted like they didn't even hear her, or nothing was going on.
As you talk about this, I'm wishing that I had some other predictions that like Sam is just like a figment of her like imagination or something. But she was like he was
Sam's not real.
like the parents acknowledged him and stuff. So because dad is like, why does he never use doors? Because he hops through the kitchen window.
It's because he's not corporeal and he can't grab the
Can't
handle.
use doors, yeah.
I like that. That's
Yeah,
maybe
that's,
even better.
Yeah,
He's a
Sam was
ghost.
dead the whole time. Yeah.
He is a ghost, but it's just the entire family can see him.
Yeah, and they don't know he's a ghost.
Yeah.
Because he crawls through open windows all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was Bruce Willis the whole time.
But okay, so we barely even explained. Clarissa is obviously Melissa
She's
Joan Hart
explaining stuff.
and the main character.
Mm-hmm.
She has, and there's only 4 other characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's and then she has a little brother named Ferguson, who's just an annoying little brother.
Little dweeb. He's kind of a nerd.
Yeah, little neat dweeb nerd guy. And then she's got a mom and a dad.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky. And then the only other person in the show was her friend Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam like talked about his dad,
Yeah. And like Clarissa's parents are like pretty normcore, and that's kind of their whole shtick. They're just normal suburban parents.
Well, Clarissa did like show where her mom works, and it looks like her mom works on like the set of Sesame Street. It was like a weird, it was like
yeah,
daycare
she
or
said
something
she
like
works
that.
with little kids.
Mm-hmm.
But then her mom said something about going like having to go to the museum. I don't know. I couldn't quite understand what her mom did. Her dad's like a modern architect.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort
He
of
built a
Frank-
house that
Frank
looked like a
Lloyd
salt
Wright.
shaker
Yeah.
in an upside down pyramid house with ladders going up
Mm-hmm.
to it.
That's how you get in. It's super, super sound. What kind of architect is this?
Bad one, I guess.
Yeah, what else? So she's got this whole thing. Sam comes in. We start off in the bathroom. She's talking to the camera, telling us about these people and stuff, and about how she's gonna kill her brother. Then we cut to Sam is coming in the window with a straitjacket from his like crazy aunt or something.
Yeah,
he said.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that because Clarissa's gonna put her brother in a straitjacket so that Sam can hook up helium balloons to him,
Mm-hmm.
and he can't escape. And she just has a giant helium tank in her bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's just filling up balloons once in a while, and you're like, what is going on?
The plan is this. Yeah, that's pretty much the plan. Is just we're gonna put him in the straitjacket, attach him to balloons, and then he'll float away, and eventually he'll die. Like whether he like runs out of oxygen or he just like falls to the earth, that's it. Which is like, that's a very like, it has a high chance of working out, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah,
like at least you know.
you have not thought this through.
Well, maybe she did. Maybe she was
too
real serious
much.
about it. Because like Sam actually did get hurt by this plan. Like
That's true.
like it worked on him, where like he floated up, fell, broke his arm.
Yeah.
Like I could only imagine that like it'd be worse if the kid in question were smaller and in a straitjacket, so he can't break his fall.
Yeah. You just break your head then.
Yeah.
And really, didn't it only not work because, like, while they were in the middle of executing it, Sam floated away, like,
Mhm.
on accident kind of thing?
Yeah, Sam was saying he should have like put some weights in his shoes or something.
He could or tied them to a rock or
Mhm.
something. I don't, or yeah, something better could happen. They could have murdered Ferguson.
I mean, if he
Could've
floated
really
away.
Do you imagine there's only one episode of Clarissa Explains It All? It's 2. It's like 1, Clarissa murders her brother Ferguson with balloons. 2nd episode, the trial.
Teens. Preemptively.
Parents are trying to cover it up,
God.
trying to blame it on Sam.
Fergie.
But I could see this show being. Part of me was like, okay, so it's just Clarissa hanging out. But I mean, as like a little girl watching this show, you'd probably be like, oh man, she's so old, she can almost drive. This is so cool. She's gonna like kill her brother.
Yeah.
This is great. Like I bet for like young girls, this is like even a cooler show.
I mean, like Clarissa herself is cool.
Yeah.
She's got cool clothes, I think, for the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's pretty hip. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially for
and
1991.
She had like several outfits
Yeah.
in this 20-minute episode. It's amazing.
And like she hates her brother, right? And like I feel like the first 2 parts of that are like aspirational, but then the last part is like relatable, and it's like, yeah, cool.
Yep.
Me, on the other hand, I feel like I'm the Ferguson, which is unfortunate because I was a dweeby little kid and I did have an older sister.
Who tried to murder you often?
I don't know that I was ever in danger, but
Notice how Joe
it
said
was
he
annoying.
had an older sister
We'll never
because
know.
he got her first.
It's every man for themselves.
Nice. So then you have Sam, who is his dad is he's got his mom is no, they're divorced, right?
Mhm.
They're divorced because at some point he said his dad was more happy about this than the divorce or something like that.
It
The
was
best thing.
when Sam tried out for the team. Did he make the team? I think he maybe made the team, and his dad said that this is like the happiest been since the divorce.
Yeah, which is I mean, no matter what, pretty solidly messed up thing to say to your kid,
Yeah.
your young kid.
So he's living with his like single dad. It seems like who's a sports writer, I think is what Clarissa said.
Mm-hmm.
And then his dad is in a bet with another sports writer that Sam could make the football team.
Mm-hmm. Also,
he's
a
trying to
weird
get
thing to
out.
put on your kid.
Yeah, that's a really healthy thing. Kid does not want to do.
I think Sam is supposed to be kind of pathetic though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like obviously I feel like his dad isn't shown in the greatest of lights.
Mm-hmm.
Sam is like kind of like a wimp just in general. I mean, not that not playing football makes you wimp or whatever, but like just his kind of thing. He's just like I was gonna say Sabrina. He's just Clarissa's friend in like trying. And I mean, I'm assuming, you know, come one or two more episodes, he'd be like, I love Clarissa.
Ooh, you think so?
Yeah.
I was gonna say he reminds me of a lot of like Sean. Is that from Boy Meets World?
Oh, okay.
He's kind of like he's the like close friend who's got some like home stuff going on.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess in the beginning of Boy Meets World, they were probably about the same size. Because I never really thought, in my mind, I never really thought Sean as like the weenie, you know,
Sure.
in Boy Meets World.
Mhm.
They were all weenies at the beginning.
Yeah, they were all
teeny tiny.
weenies at the beginning. They were all just tiny little boys.
Little cocktail weenies.
Oh, little tiny little cocktail weenie
I'd
boys.
mess with some cocktail weenies right now.
Little
But
smokies.
so it's interesting. I mean, yeah. So like it like that's kind of fun because now that we've like talked through it, I'm like, oh yeah, Clarissa really was like the only one that like basically had her shit together in a way and was like, I got plans. I'm doing my plans. You know, they don't really work out, but they worked out in the end because she got like a picture of Ferguson's pimple.
She got her revenge,
Yeah.
and she got Sam out of football. So
Yeah. So
there's
like
that.
everything worked out for her, but like Sam broke his arm and like has a weird dad that wants to live through him.
Yeah, everything worked out for her in spite of her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Doing horrible things. So the lesson here is just do what you want and everything will work out.
Yeah.
That's right. I agree.
Definitely not your stereotypical like family like thing, like show where there is some sort of lesson or something.
Oh, if there was a lesson in this, I do not know where it was.
And I think that's kind of the like Nickelodeon vibe. Is just like
Yeah.
not here to teach you anything,
Yeah,
kids.
this
We're just,
isn't- This isn't TGIF, right? Yeah.
It's we're just having fun.
Yeah, we're just being silly.
Don't actually kill your brother.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, and like as a 10-year-old to a 5-year-old to like watching this show, which is probably somewhere in the demographic of this, like, yeah, you're not going like, oh man, they like they were gonna murder him.
Yeah.
Like that's not what kids are thinking.
Yeah, it's cartoon violence.
Yeah.
You're just like,
Right.
yeah.
But it is fun as an adult to be like, holy shit, you were trying to murder him.
It could have been very serious.
There are like things, I can't think of anything that I did as a kid, but there are like things that like kids do and they're like, we should do this. And then you're like, as an adult, you're like, holy hell, you should not do that. You're gonna get really hurt.
Yeah.
So
there were two things that we talked about that did happen in this pilot, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
is one, they didn't actually ever leave the house.
Yeah, they
I don't
didn't,
think,
no.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We like saw outside from inside the house.
Yeah.
There's
nothing.
one small clip or two small clips of Ferguson at school and then of the mom
That's true.
in her classroom, but those aren't actual scenes. Those are just like
Right.
flashbacks as I was about to say Sabrina, as Clarissa is talking about them.
Yep.
So, yeah, that I feel
Every
those
like
don't really
actual
count.
like set happening
Mm-hmm.
in our time was in the house, just
Mhm.
in different rooms in the house. And then the other thing is she made a little video game
Mm-hmm.
of trying to kill her brother in a straitjacket, trying to attach balloons to him,
Mm-hmm.
and they played it. And I'd play that. Play
Yeah.
that game.
Solid game.
I'd murder that child.
We got it on tape. We got him.
Oh man. Pew.
Yeah. I mean, so all in all, at the moment, I'd say I'm definitely not interested in rolling into episode 2 of Clarissa
Mm-hmm.
Explains It All. But if I like had a young daughter or even a young boy, like, and they were within that tiny age, I feel like this is like a perfect kid show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very harmless and it's cartoon violence and there's lessons you can teach your kids and stuff like this. It's fun.
Like, don't kill each other.
Like, don't kill each other.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe there's more of a lesson in the last one. I
It's
feel
not
like.
real lessons, but like as a parent, you can pull some stuff out. I bet,
Yeah.
or whatever. I think it's safe to put this on and walk out of the room as
Mhm.
well. So we're now gonna vet all of these shows for potential parents. Hear that, Luke? Your kids can watch this.
It's good. I mean, Melissa Joan Hart's good in it. Like, I can see like how she's charismatic, and
Mm-hmm.
you can film 5 seasons of a show just based on that. How long is Sabrina? 5 seasons? How long does that last?
She does everything, but in intervals of 5. So, man, can't wait for God's Not Dead 5. Predictions?
Yeah. I can go. I think in the finale here, Clarissa says the phrase, either explained, or explains it all.
Okay.
Here's the past tense.
Yeah.
We've explained it.
Mm-hmm. It all. I think that Sam has a full-time job. I realize he's probably still of like high school age, but I think he's just like,
Works at a Subway or something.
yeah, like
Put
he's
40
like
hours
not,
a
yeah,
week
he's
at
not
the
even in
Subway.
school anymore, and he's just like a assistant manager at Subway. I think he's an
Love it.
enterprising kid. I think that Ferguson undergoes puberty, and now he's taller than Clarissa, which I feel like they probably try to downplay with him being like the younger brother, but like he's just a giant now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Love it.
3.5, what is it, like 3 years or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He could
Easily possible.
be way taller, potentially.
And then we haven't mentioned Elvis, her pet alligator.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like a little pet alligator that lives in like a kiddie pool.
In her room.
Yeah, in her room, which is dope. And I think that Elvis is set free in the end.
Oh,
Just gets to go out and be in the wild.
be free.
Probably because he's like too big.
Eat children. It's just like
Yeah.
a 10-foot alligator.
You're
in
an
her
alligator. You should just go. We can't
Take the
keep
ladder.
you here anymore. It's hard to keep you a secret from my parents any longer.
Been feeding you giraffes, antelopes. What do alligators eat?
Just like full toddlers, I think.
Yeah, been feeding you toddlers.
That's messed up. My first one, I think Clarissa goes to college.
Mm.
Maybe that's the end.
Explains college.
Number 2.
All right.
Sam has a girlfriend who is
Yes.
not Clarissa.
Mm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Number 3. Ferguson plays a trick / gets revenge on Clarissa in this episode.
Ferg faces revenge.
Number 4, because we don't ever really leave the house, like we have the flashes, I think we find out, maybe in some cheeky way, that this isn't really reality, and this is maybe some sort of Saint Elsewhere globe bullshit.
Like it's all in her head or something?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like maybe they're in the snow globe, or like it's a dream, or something.
It's all a video
Something's up. It's all a video game.
Maybe Sam is actually the only real person, and he is pretending he's imagining climbing up into this family.
Yeah, this wholesome family with like the parents still together and
he's
siblings.
traumatized by his parents' divorce,
But
and
even
his terrible parenting from his dad, that he's made up this entire. He's crawling into this abandoned house and imagining this entire family.
I like that a lot.
yeah, that's good.
That's true.
That's what it would be like if it was like a Netflix like what was that, like teen suicide show?
13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
Is that it? I've never seen it.
Spoilers.
13 going on 30.
I just heard people were like mad because it was about like suicide or something like that. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, you know. People got to be mad at stuff. Is it my turn?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, number 1, I also have that Sam has a GF that I don't think is Clarissa.
Oh, really? You have that exact thing?
I mean,
too?
I didn't write that, but that's what I was thinking in my
Okay.
brain. That's what I'm going with.
Fair.
Because I think that's true. And maybe there's a little bit of weirdness there. Anyway, number 2, I think Clarissa's parents are separated.
Wow, Jimmy.
Because Sam is now imagining what it would be like for his imaginary friend's parents to separate.
What if my
so
imaginary
he's not the only
friends-
one,
Even in his fantasy, he just can't keep parents together.
you know? It's subconscious. Number 3, I think we still don't leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4,
Home hobbits.
I think Number 4, I think Fergface is just like a full-on villain now. Cuz like in this first episode, like he's a little brother, and bring your sister's bra. That's like really shitty, and he totally did it to embarrass her. But I think he's more like just more villainous,
Just more malicious.
just
not even
just
little brother shenanigans, just
vicious.
like an actual monster.
Yeah. Just like a Hanna-Barbera like cartoon.
He injects
villain.
himself with the shredder ooze at the end and turns into Super Ferguson.
Love it.
I'm into it. Cool. Well, let's watch the last episode of Clarissa Explains It All. It was on October 1st, 1994. It was called The Last Episode.
Oh, so they know.
Okay.
So they knew.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were just like, let's just call it The Last Episode.
See what happens.
We were going to call it Ferg Faces Revenge, but no. Okay, so last episode. We'll be back after that. And we're back. We're done with the last episode of Clarissa Explains It All. It was called The Last Episode. Jimmy, do you have a write-up?
Yeah. So the IMDb calls it The Last Clarissa.
Oh.
Which seems weird. Wikipedia says The Last Episode. And they both say this. Clarissa finishes her last article for the newspaper dedicated to the future. This arises the question, where will they be in 20 years? And that's all it says. But also, they're graduating high school. Well, Sam and Clarissa are, and they're trying to figure out their immediate future as well in real life.
So like Clarissa, like has been accepted to the College of Cincinnati for their journalism school, because apparently she's big into journalism now. She like writes for the school paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then she gets offered an internship in New York for what they called the New York Daily Post. Essentially just to be like, working for that, like a full-time, full-on newspaper.
Which seems pretty crazy for like a high schooler to like not have any college and then go directly to being an intern.
Yeah. Seems like also like maybe not a great career path either. Of just like, I guess you could take, like a leap year, I guess, and do this internship and then go back to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of in a way, like why not? Because it's not like the internship's going to be waiting for you next year, but school will.
Yeah.
Gap
Unless
years,
the
man,
Cincinnati
they're the
School
new
of
thing.
Journalism closes all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and that probably wouldn't have been a great school to go to anyway then.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess, she could get some life experience there. Plus be chilling in New York. That'll be more fun than Cincinnati. They kind of dunked on Cincinnati
Quite
episode.
a bit.
They did dunk on it.
So what are you going to do there?
I was like, I could find fun in Cincinnati. If it's a brand new town, like if you can't have fun in a brand new town, at least for a little bit, you're a boring person, right?
It's still a city. There's,
It's a city.
Yeah.
It's not like a burb.
Yeah.
It's probably bigger than Minneapolis, let's be honest.
It is the South, though. So take note if you have aversions to the South.
For any reason.
For any reason.
Y'all.
Sure.
I've been there. It's,
It's a city.
Southern?
it's a city in the South. Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
I feel like I'd have a great time.
Isn't Claire from, where's she from?
Yeah. That, like lower Ohio,
Okay.
Kentucky area.
That
Yeah.
explains a lot about Claire.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well then. Yeah, I mean, so that was the biggest thing about Clarissa. She was trying to then decide if she wanted to go to college or get this internship.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the side plot of Sam not getting into any of the schools that he applied for.
Mm-hmm.
And then he applied for an all-girls school. Was it called Birmingham?
Something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. So some school potentially called Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an all-girls school. And he's like, I just did it for fun. But
Mhm.
then...
In Maine. Or didn't he say he did it on accident or
Yeah.
something?
Or
It was
he
an
did an
accident.
accident. Yeah.
Something Sam-like?
Yeah.
And then he got accepted into it because they decided they needed to open up their enrollment. So he's the first male student to ever
Mhm.
go.
So fun fact, just a quick sidestep, is that the IMDb biography for Jason Zimbler, who is Ferguson,
Mm-hmm.
says that when he had to move to Orlando, he had issues in high school, was forced with like scheduling conflicts and was forced to enroll in an all-girls school near his home. So do you think they just wrote that into the show based on...
Wait, how does that even work? Forced to join an all-girls school.
So it says
Seems like
once
the school.
once the show was picked up for an extended run, scheduling conflicts arose between taping the show in Orlando and high school, and he was forced to reluctantly, in quotes. I don't know. There's, it's not like Wikipedia where this stuff is cited.
No citations on IMDb.
So who's to say if any of this is true?
Funny. I mean, as like a young boy, like Weedy was like when he joined the show, that's probably like weird to like have to go to a school that's like all the opposite gender.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't have any boys to throw balls at or something. I don't know.
This does say that he then went to college in South Bend, and his the wiki says he went to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
So
He was a real like,
maybe
Rudy.
it's hopefully maybe it's legit. Anyway. Yeah.
So Sam ends up getting into this all-girls school.
And then all the girls reveal themselves at the end or whatever.
Yeah, he somehow had already like made some friends at the all-girls school.
Yeah, he's called them the welcoming committee,
Mm-hmm.
which is just 3 girls with like porn names who were apparently just following him around town and waiting outside Clarissa's house for him to call them up.
Mm-hmm. Good for Sam. Way to go.
He seems happy about it. That'd be a very interesting college, very unique college experience.
Sam seems to be happy to be at a school.
Yeah, Sam's happy to
He's
be
probably
in a school
pretty
at all.
lucky.
Mm-hmm.
His dad, for probably all of the wrong sexist reasons, is excited that his son's going to all girls school.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Sam,
probably
for some
still
of those
ashamed.
also sexist reasons, is also happy he's going to that all girls school, but also just like happy that maybe a school said yes to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for a female-led show, that whole thing was very very objectifying and misogynistic.
Yeah,
Kind of weird.
maybe Sam
Good
got to write that
times.
part in. He's like, it's in my contract. Sam gets one victory.
Yeah. Sam's got to get a win.
Sam gets a win.
God, 5
Sam's gonna-
seasons of
Sam's gonna may or may not have relations with 3 college chicks at the end of the last episode.
yikes.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah.
What else?
The other bit was that Ferguson is like literally like measuring the drapes as Clarissa's leaving because he's gonna like take over her room as like a study or something. I forget what he said.
He said I'm gonna have an annex.
Yeah. But then in the end, he reveals that like he's like gonna miss her and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I was watching him, especially in that last scene,
Mm-hmm.
but even when he came in through the door, like in the middle of the show, and
Mhm.
I was like, man, Ferguson's a bad actor.
Not great.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe just in the presence of Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah, maybe just, he's like, oh, you're too good.
Yeah.
I also thought like at some points there was a laugh track in this episode,
Oh, yeah,
and
there for
some
sure
points
was.
there like
Should have
wasn't.
been, are you saying?
Yeah. I was like, they were pausing like there was a laugh track,
Uh-huh.
and then there wasn't one.
There's- I
Sound
remember-
editor sleeping on
Yeah,
the
I
job.
specifically remember a joke at the end of a scene where it was at the end of the scene where Ferguson was like measuring her room to take over, and she was like, oh, I bet this is what it was like when like the Mongolians had Attila the Hun take over. And like there's a pause, and then the next scene, and I was like, that's kind of a weird deep joke to make for like a kids show, and there wasn't a laugh track for that joke.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen
The sound was weird.
It's very weird. I've seen somebody did a YouTube video on like Friends and somebody in like maybe Big Bang about like laugh tracks, about
Mhm.
how like comedy, like the comedy timing doesn't make any sense in a show that has a laugh track if you like take out the laugh track
I'd seen clips like that where they had edited out the laugh track,
and then the show goes and it's so awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like there was a scene or two in this episode I was like, what
Mm.
is this where I laugh?
Yeah,
Like it was
phoning it
little
in.
solo laugh.
good one, Melissa.
This one's just for you.
And then but then I thought because it must have happened earlier, because then I was like, there's no laugh track in this.
Mhm.
Was there in the first one? And then later on in the episode, there was a laugh track.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
They forgot to edit it in?
They only put it in for the jokes they really thought were funny.
Maybe that certain laugh in the beginning was like copyrighted and like it wasn't in their contract anymore, and they had to get rid of it.
Could be.
Yeah, that was weird. I thought that was weird. So comedic timing
Mm-hmm.
in this episode was odd to me.
Yeah.
Based solely because I was like, laugh track?
The one other plot thing that I thought to mention was she spent a lot of time in the episode imagining like what people's lives would be like 20 years from now.
Yeah.
And she had imagined that like her mom is like out in the jungle somewhere, like investigating vegetables or something.
Like Jane Goodall of vegetables.
Yeah. She had imagined that her dad was, he got some like architecture award or something, right? But it was given to him by President Chelsea Clinton.
Yeah.
This is the
That
year
was weird.
2014.
Yeah, that was weird too.
And Ferguson started a cult.
Yeah. But Did you also realize like it was the cult of Fergatology or something like that? But also she was like explaining those, but then while she did it, they had like a title on the bottom.
Yeah.
As well.
Like a little subtitle, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't. You're calling them one thing, and then there was a different subtitle.
Yeah, like a little like snarky comment.
Yeah.
Because like when she was saying it was the cult of Fergatology or whatever, like at the bottom it said cult turkey.
Yeah,
like as in cold turkey.
Fergatology.
Yeah, and I think the last one was that like Sam had like gone into space. Essentially, he was like
Sam was
space.
Legitimately in an X-wing.
Yeah,
with R2D2 in like the droid spot.
And R2 unit. Let's.
Oh yeah, I mean it wasn't technically R2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I didn't understand. So, in what were all the flash forwards? There was like she was Murphy. They called her Murphy.
Oh, that was the
Darling
one we didn't talk about.
They did a couple like TV show parodies.
Yeah.
One where she was imagining herself in New York for the internship, which was the essentially the intro from That Girl, which is like a 60s sitcom.
Yeah.
But they changed it to This Girl.
And redid the lyrics and stuff. It was good.
And then later they did like a parody of Murphy Brown. It looked like because she was like working in a newsroom and all her family were there as like her coworkers.
Yeah, they just it felt like kind of a lot for like for like a Nickelodeon episode that shoots only in their house.
Yeah, on one set.
Like that's a lot of production to be like.
Yeah.
We're going to write a whole song. We're going to do a whole, like, Mary Tyler Moore kind of shtick thing.
And you think, like,
it's like, oh, my, for 2 minutes.
The, like, what, at this point, maybe, like, 8 to 15-year-olds that are watching this show were like, oh, yeah, totally, Murphy Brown.
Yeah,
I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. They didn't get any of that. Who was that for?
Just the parents, I guess.
The parents that were watching it with their kids. Yeah.
Huh. So I wonder if there's a bunch of that throughout then, a bunch of... It's kind of Pixar. Like, there's just, like, adult jokes.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make it... A kid show that's aimed towards kids, you got to have, like, those adult jokes that, like, a kid will be like, this is silly. She's working at a TV studio. Like, and that kid just thinks it's silly. But
Ferguson's drinking Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, exactly. But then the like mom and dad are like Murphy Brown.
We're gonna watch this after.
Oh man, you guys want to watch Murphy Brown later on the VHS we recorded it on last week because it's 1994 and that's the only way you can rewatch anything.
Pod,
yeah,
Murphy Brown.
If you've got Murphy Brown first and last on VHS, send it over.
We'll watch it exclusively on your VHS. Also, send over the VCR.
Yeah, get us a VCR.
Because we don't have that anymore.
Do I have a VCR? I might have a VCR.
Why would you have a VCR?
Why would you not?
I don't have one.
When did you stop owning a VCR?
I don't think I've ever owned a VCR.
Well, that is the issue then.
I think my family, when I was growing up, owned a VCR.
All right.
I've only owned a DVD player, and I never owned a DVD player. I owned a PS2.
When do you think was the last time you watched a VHS?
A VHS? When I worked at a bank, we had a VHS and TV combo in the break room.
Okay.
And Big Daddy got stuck in it. Big Daddy starring Adam Sandler. It got stuck in it. So I watched Big Daddy every day on my lunch break for about 4 years.
Cool.
And that was about 6 or 7 years ago.
What's the first line of dialogue in Big Daddy?
I don't know, dude.
Hip Hop Anonymous.
The last line of dialogue?
The kid says, "You're my Big Daddy."
Oddly enough, for how much I've seen that, I cannot quote a single line in that.
Really?
No.
With his loose skin and old balls, gross.
Joe is just quoting a storm.
Wow. I've seen it objectively so many more times than you for sure, and I can't.
For some reason, that old balls line just really stuck with me.
Balls, gross. I just remember like they throw on the sticks when people are like rollerblading and stuff, and Rob Schneider's character as like the delivery guy who just also hangs out.
It's a good.
And then Jon Stewart's in it.
Yeah. Jon Stewart's in that movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. You know who's not in it? Melissa Joan Hart. Back to Clarissa Explains It All.
All right.
Yeah. If only God's Not Dead got stuck in that VHS or VCR.
I don't think I would be. God's Not Dead never came to VHS. That was a straight to DVD, my friend.
Oh man.
Comes out in 2017, straight to VHS.
I could see like the next Quentin Tarantino movie being only available in like theaters.
That's kind of the thing for like music, you know. We went back to like
cassette tapes,
cassettes, and back to LPs. Let's go back to cassette. Get back to VHS.
Yeah,
back to that tape. Let's do it.
Hopefully you're tuning in because you can only find this podcast on 8-track now.
Laserdisc.
Could you imagine? It's like every single week we record this, put it on like a cassette tape, and we just mail it to everyone that
all their subscribers
sign up for our mailing list so we can mail you a cassette tape. That is the exact opposite way of how to make money. Predictions.
Yeah. I went first. I had Clarissa Says Explain It All. I listened. I don't think I heard it.
I tried to pay attention to, and I don't think I heard it.
She said something final at the end about like, well, I guess that's all for now. See you guys. But she never said explain it all.
I think she said, yep, that's all, folks.
That is all, folks. I said that Sam has a full-time job, which, man, like, I had that flipped because Sam ended up going to college while Clarissa went and got that internship. So,
yeah.
No point there. Ferguson is taller than Clarissa, which this was, like, proven definitively. He was, like, standing next to her. I thought that they...
I don't know. She might have been slouching the whole time.
I think Clarissa's just a tiny person. I thought they maybe would have tried to hide it with him being like the younger brother, but no, they full on showed it.
Yep.
And then I had that Elvis is set free, and we didn't see Elvis, so I guess that's inconclusive.
Dead or gone.
R.I.P. Elvis.
Or he's a real live alligator and got
in
big.
a closet. Yeah,
Elvis lives.
She forgot to like mention it to her parents. They just opened up the closet one day.
They're like, holy shit! That thing's you.
Just eats Ferguson.
Elvis, is that you?
As he's eating you. So 1 point?
No points.
No, he's taller.
Oh, Ferguson's taller. Yeah.
Yeah.
Elvis is taller than a.
Wait, what?
Okay, I didn't do great. I said number 1, Clarissa goes to college, and she was like, "I'm gonna go to college," and then 5 minutes later, she's like, "I'm not gonna go to college
Specifically,
anymore.
Never going to college.
I just want to give Josh that point and take it right away." So she's not going to college.
Awesome.
I think Sam has a girlfriend who is not Clarissa. I mean, Sam might have 3 girlfriends at the end of this.
I mean, you know, things are looking up for Sam.
They're looking up, but I don't believe he currently has a girlfriend that is not Clarissa. My third one is that Ferguson plays a trick and or gets revenge on Clarissa.
Really not.
No, he's just a big old Ferga turd.
Big old softy.
Ferga turd.
Turd Ferguson.
Bird Turguson.
Is that Scrubs?
Turd Ferguson?
Yeah.
No, that's
that?
Like SNL.
Yeah, that's Celebrity Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. That's Burt Reynolds.
There's a thing at work where someone had been doing some testing and like set up a patient called like Turd Ferguson. And like it was like testing something where like you get an email, like the hospital will get an email about your patient or whatever, and like somehow it had slipped out into like production. So like a bunch of facilities got emails saying like, hey, your patient Turd Ferguson is like now ready.
Oh no.
I mean, at least that's like
Fantastic.
the most harmless, funny thing in the world.
Yeah, well, and like because it was Turd Ferguson, like the hospitals knew like, hey, this was like not a real email, right?
Yeah, this is definitely fake.
We're not waiting on Turd Ferguson right now, right?
Turd Ferguson? Oh man.
Just
and then my
calling
last
out
one.
to the lobby. Mr. Ferguson.
Mr. Ferguson, your bed is ready. Okay, number 4 is that it's not
Check
real
your colon.
/ it's some ain't Saint Elsewhere shit, and that wasn't true either.
Very real.
I wish I could have seen it.
Pineapple on pizza. Do I get a point?
No.
Okay, 0 points. For
Actually, you get negative points.
you then. Shoot. Okay.
Thanks for bringing that up, though, because I start this round with a point. Mark it.
I'm marking it on the last week's episode.
Last week's. Okay. So I also thought Sam was going to have a GF. This is not true, as far as we know. I thought we were going to have some drama in the home. I thought the parents were going to be maybe separated. Did not see any of that. Number 3, that they don't leave the house again. There was a scene on like a porch or something. I don't know how I feel about that.
That was their house's porch.
It was their house.
I feel like they did the exact same thing they did in the first episode, where all of the real things were only in the house, and then the Family Guy type like daydreams were other places.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
I think that counts.
Still just the
Unfortunately,
house.
Still true. Okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. That's the 5 seasons just
Mhm.
in a house.
That is crazy.
5 seasons of every episode's a bottle episode, but it's the bottle is the set.
And really just the same like 5 characters, the immediate family
Yeah.
and Sam.
there was no new. I mean, unless you count those 3 ladies of the night that Sam brought from college.
Mm-hmm.
And Ferg had a friend of Ferg.
Yeah. There's, a couple
He had one line.
people, but they're not really characters.
Yeah. Okay, so point there. The number 4 was Ferg faces a full-on villain, and he ended up being a real softie.
Yeah, real nice guy.
Oh, what a weakling! A little weakling he was.
Not into it.
Not into it. So 1 point.
Yeah.
1 point this week. Also retroactively giving you 1 point for last week.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
dude,
have
point.
just FYI. I was here both weeks. Jimmy was only here 1. I got 0 points.
both times.
Jimmy's scored 1 point every week.
Hey. You guys gave that to me.
I really thought there was a chance.
Yeah,
There
really
was.
fast.
Tucked it away in there.
It was close.
No, good for you, Jimmy. Way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I mean, that is Clarissa Explains It All. Thank you
All
for
right.
All right. Thank you for listening.
All right.
If you want to give us show suggestions or just hit us up or whatnot, you can do that at FNL Podcast on the Gmail or on the Twitter. We'll be back next week. Is the stunning conclusion of First and Last Summer Camp 2021. What will we watch?
Yeah, stay tuned. Might be a surprise.
It's you might be freaked out by how crazy it is.
Left field.
Yeah, it's really gonna throw you for a loop. Unless you send us that VHS of Murphy Brown.
Man, that'll throw me for a loop.
Yeah, that'd be crazy, man. It also, if you know my address, that's freaky. But yeah, so next week's the last First and Last Summer Camp. So be there or be a square.
Mhm.
That's what the kids say still, right?
We'll see you at the lodge
Are you trying to throw them off?
after canoeing.
What's happening? What?
I don't know. I was just talking about camp stuff.
No. All right. Don't get.
After the hike. What do you like ticks? What are you gonna say? Don't get
I don't know. I just froze.
You just
Lyme's
started
disease.
rebooting.
Line. Nope, that's it. Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.